I would say as of right now, I would recommend it. Um, I do think it's a generally pretty good idea. There's a couple problems with that though. The first one being is that you can't join the military as a way of avoiding school. A lot of people try to join the military and because they think like they hate school or whatever. You can't. You can never escape school. School is a demon that follows you. It's your shadow. You can't escape it. It's you have to learn things. I'm sorry. Learning is a part of life, and they'll give it to you in a school-like format with homework and assignments and things of that nature. So if that's why you think you want to join the military, don't do it. Figure yourself out first. Figure out why you hate learning and get back to me, and then we can talk about it. So don't do that. But if you really want to go to college and you don't think you can afford it, or there's like a specific college you really want to go to that's really freaking expensive and you don't quite have the resume yet to get in there on like a full ride scholarship or like a scholarship that makes it manageable in any way, shape, or form, yeah, sure, join the military. It'll boost your resume for like applications to schools. In the Air Force specifically, and I think in the Navy as well, they have their own community college system, so you can get a degree while you're in the military, and then spin that up into where you want to go later as a transfer, as a transfer, not transfer, as a transfer, or you can get like a an advanced degree after that. So for education specifically, it's actually a really good idea. If you want to get into politics at any point, the military is a great avenue for that. It'll bolster your leadership skills. It'll give you opportunities to, again, create that resume for yourself. You meet some awesome people. Get a The military is a great like touchstone experience wise for understanding how Americans think. Because unlike your hodunk town in Tennessee that has 10,000 people in it, you're getting a really like decent sample, an accurate sample of different people from across the country. So if you grew up in the Midwest, you grew up in West Virginia or something like that, like be ready to open your mind and like experience someone from California or Washington or Vermont, and have conversations with them that aren't combative, So if you're willing to be open minded and you're ready to like work with some unique people and people that you wouldn't have accessed if you stayed in whatever town or whatever city you grew up in, yeah, go for it. That's in and of itself, that's a valuable experience, I think. But the last thing I would recommend if you're interested in joining the military is study for the ASVAB. The ASVAB, again, it's the aptitude test you take to determine what you qualify for in the military. I think like the Marines will take you if you scribble your name in crayon, the Marines will take you. For the Air Force, I think you need to scribble your name in crayon and then know what 2 plus 2 is. But despite the fact that you can get in the military with just that bare minimum of knowledge, you should try your best to do better because the opportunities that make themselves available to you if you score well on that test will give you an edge in determining one whether you want to make the military career because all the fun jobs are locked behind higher AFIP scores. You want to work on a plane, got to have a higher AFIP score. If you want to do some cool intelligence stuff or be a spy or anything of that nature, anything that sounds cool and any of like the weird James Bourne like interesting military stuff you can think of. If you want to do that stuff, you need to get a higher AFSAB score. That's just the name of the game. And academia or your academics are perpetually important. So study for that test. If you're in high school and you're thinking about joining the military, pay attention to algebra class. Maybe do some reading on like mechanical engineering, like know what a wrench is, know what a nut versus a bolt is, has a basic idea of like what circuitry is and like how circuitry works, because those are also a part of your ASVAB test. And like knock it out of the park, man. Yeah, knock that test out of the park and give yourself the broadest available options for joining the military because that's where you'll see the most success. Because If you don't, then they're just going to place you wherever they want you, or place you as like infantry, or place you as like a security forces. And while it works for some people, a lot of people don't end up liking those jobs. And they try to get out of them as fast as possible. And not only can that like waste your time if you're in a job that you don't like, but it also can make your life miserable because if you don't like your job, the Air Force is kind of like, hey, you signed up for this, and we have this contract, and you have to at least, follow through on this contract before you can release you. Because if not, if you get just honorable discharge from the military, you're screwed. That thing looks terrible. You can't. It's so hard to get a good job if you have a dishonorable discharge. It's like being disbarred as a lawyer. It's a stain that you cannot remove. It's only one step up from being a felon. Like, don't get dishonorably discharged. Go in the military. Be serious about it if you want to do it, and take like the entire process from start to end seriously. Have fun. It's gonna be fun regardless of whether you take it seriously or not. But you know, take your job. Take like the process of applying. Take the testing. Take the academics seriously.
Awesome.